Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Here's a few of the stories we have coming up for you this evening. The race for mayor of Wenatchee has become a three-way affair with two veteran candidates plus one newcomer angling to run for that open office. Long-running renewal plans for Lincoln Park are coming to fruition this week as it opens with a large-scale ceremony on Tuesday afternoon. Weather-wise, a windy but otherwise beautiful day to start your week. Dan Kuntz has your weather a little bit later on, and he's calling for calming winds and warming temperatures all the way into the 80s for your Memorial Day weekend. An Okanagan County man is dead following a head-on collision Friday on Highway 2, 1 mile south of Orondo. The Washington State Patrol says 42-year-old driver Austin Morris improperly passed another eastbound vehicle about 2:40 p.m. and crashed into an oncoming semi-truck. The truck driver was not injured. Orondo Fire Chief Jim Otey said the crash caused a heavy fuel spill from the semi, which had to be contained. State troopers say Morris was a Methow resident. The accident kept Highway 2 closed at milepost 138 for several hours. Well, Wenatchee officially has a three-way race for mayor. With Mayor Frank Kuntz's decision not to seek a fourth term, City Council member Mike Poirier threw his hat into the ring. Former council member and previous mayoral candidate Brian Campbell will appear on the ballot as well, along with newcomer James McLaughlin. That race goes on the August ballot for a top two primary, with the two highest vote-getters advancing to the general election in November. Across the river in East Wenatchee, Mayor Jerry Crawford will go unchallenged in her bid for a second term leading the city. There is only one contested city council race in either town, with Charlie Atkinson facing off against Electrify Williams in Wenatchee. The Wenatchee School Board's newest member will not run for re-election after her term was shortened by a change in the school district's voting regulations. Catherine Thomas was elected to a 4-year term in 2021, but the board's decision to adopt a new districted voting system put every seat up for new election this November. Thomas voted in favor of the change but later objected to it, and last week did not file to run for her seat in Subdistrict 2. She's one of two incumbents not to run again. Three others, Martin Barron, Maria Iniguez, and Julie Norton, are seeking to keep their positions in November, with 7 challengers also filing to run. The Wenatchee Valley College parking lot played host to all sorts of rescue and transport vehicles for this year's Touch a Truck event. Kids and parents, adorned with bucket hats and red cheeks, had the chance to steer the wheels, honk the horns, and air the sirens of fire trucks, police cars, buses, and more on Saturday. The event was met with a good turnout, even with the high temperatures, and was closed out with a flyover by helicopters. Touch a Truck is an annual event put on by Women's Service League of NCW, who said they raised $6,750 with 2,000 people attending the event. NCWLIFE caught up with board member Corey Bautista to share more about what the event means.
We've been doing this for several years. This is a Kids Helping Kids event. So the money that we raise at this event goes to helping kids in our community. So kids have an opportunity to come and touch trucks, honk horns, as you can hear in the background. We have law enforcement. We have 3 helicopters that landed, a lot of city workers. You name it, you can find it here.
When we come back, an East Wenatchee man will be jailed for a year and undergo rehabilitative therapy for molesting a young family member. And a highway crash outside Cashmere leaves a Peshastin motorcyclist hospitalized. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. An accident involving a motorcycle and auto in Cashmere Friday night resulted in the motorcyclist being airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. According to the Washington State Patrol, 41-year-old Aiken Peterson of Peshastin was riding a 2022 Ducati Street Fighter westbound on Highway 2 near Hay Canyon Road at 8:45 p.m. 19-year-old Cole Warman, also of Peshastin, passed him driving a 2013 Kia Optima. Peterson collided with Warman's vehicle. He was transported to Central Washington Hospital before being airlifted to Harborview with serious injuries. Warman was not injured. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. A Douglas County judge on Friday ordered a 70-year-old East Wenatchee man to spend a year in jail on a suspended sentence for child molestation. Robert Frederick Black pleaded guilty in April to sexually abusing a family member in 2017 when she was 10 years old. Judge Brian Huber ordered Black to serve his term under the Special Sex Offender Sentencing Alternative, which allows defendants to serve part of their sentence in intensive therapeutic treatment. He'll spend his 1 year of incarceration in the Chelan County Jail rather than prison. The suspended sentence was 60 months, meaning Black could be imprisoned for 5 years if he commits another crime or violates the terms of his sentence. The City of Wenatchee's Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Department has a lot to celebrate this week. On Tuesday, Lincoln Park is set to reopen, and a ribbon cutting will be held for the Okanagan Street Community Garden on Thursday. Lincoln Park's renovation includes new stage, new play equipment, picnic shelter, and more. The community garden is on the corner of Okanagan and Yakima Streets and features 50 plots for community use, 43 of which have already been reserved. The reopening of Lincoln Park will take place tomorrow, May 23rd at 4 p.m., and the Okanagan Street Community Garden ribbon cutting will be held at 4:30 p.m. this Thursday, May 25th. Coming up next, the La Terraza de Main Street celebration brought color and life to downtown Wenatchee over the weekend. NCWLIFE talks with the key organizer of the third annual event. The hot weekend weather broke with some wind to make for a much more pleasant Monday. Dan Kuntz says you can expect a near-perfect weather picture for your 3-day weekend. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Downtown Wenatchee was filled with music, dancing, and delicious-smelling food on Saturday as the Hispanic Business Council held their third annual La Terraza de Main Street celebration. The event featured a pop-up market of small businesses and nonprofits and performances from folkloric dancers and mariachi bands. The Hispanic Business Council is an advisory committee to the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce. They hold the event specifically to give Latino-owned businesses who may not have storefronts a chance to build awareness within the community. Ruben Betancourt, the chair of the committee, helped MC on stage, and he told NCWLIFE more about what the council does and the importance of the day's festivities.
We're a voluntary advisory council for the Chamber of Commerce in bridging some of the equity and inclusivity gaps in the business community. And so we hosted this event to really bring out a lot of vendors and local community partners who cater to those businesses that are not storefronts or that are really beginning in their business, to begin to explore what it looks like to have a business. And we create this space for free for them so that they can experience that and have that downtown location for kind of to build awareness and kind of brand recognition for what they're doing. There's entertainment, small business, there's food, and a lot of people are here because they know somebody who's in one of those circles. So they're here because they have a vendor friend, or they're here because they have someone entertaining in the music. And so really what we're doing is bringing a community atmosphere to downtown, that there is already one here, but bringing more people to downtown and trying to fill in the space a little bit more full and give that atmosphere to our families. A lot of these small businesses have families with them today, so you'll see kids running around with them as they're doing their work. And so creating that atmosphere and that culture of community is what we're trying to accomplish. So I think there's a couple of big barriers to small business in general. This one specifically is a location. So a lot of people don't have a physical location for their business, and so a lot of Hispanic small businesses are exactly the same in that aspect. And so we provide this event so that they can have a space, build a recognition, build awareness in a space when they don't typically have a physical building. I think the biggest thing is that we really just enjoy serving our community. And so if there's a business that's underrepresented, underserved, the Hispanic Business Council as a priority want to understand those equity gaps and those inclusivity gaps and to help bridge them in the business community here locally and regionally.
Time to look at your forecast for the Wenatchee Valley and all of north central Washington. Dan Kuntz filling in for Grant Olson as we take a look outside of our weather window from our Wenatchee Heights camera. Columbia River's still running dirty, still running cold, still running high, but all the tributaries that feed into the Columbia River, they've calmed down quite a bit, not only in their flow, the intensity of the flow, but also on their banks. They've all gone down a little bit. The Wenatchee River at Monitor, all the others, they're looking okay right now. No worries about flooding. And by the way, Lake Chelan, the bathtub is now full just in time for Memorial Day, and it's a good looking forecast. Almanac for today, 70. Our high just a few degrees below normal. We got down to 54 earlier this morning. 15 and a half hours of daylight now. We like that. And as you can see by the highs and lows, we're not going to get anywhere near those things. By the way, a new record high we set last Friday, new record high we set last Saturday. It was 84 on Sunday. As you can see, a lot cooler today, but there'll be a gradual warm up. The big story today is the wind. We'll get to that in just a little bit. All right, temperatures tomorrow very consistent all over the place. Lower 70s out in the Columbia Basin, lower 70s here in the Wenatchee Valley, upper 60s in Ellensburg. It's going to take a little while for them to warm up. Omak will be about 73 or so. Lake Wenatchee, upper 60s. Still going to deal with a little bit of residual breeze tomorrow. Well, I would say today, Monday, was windy. I think we can safely call it that. It'll be more like breezy on Tuesday, and then we're pretty much done with the wind. All right, let's go point by point for the rest of the day today. Again, a lot of wind coming in. There's a low pressure ridge that's just off the coast of British Columbia, bringing in that cooler air, tightening up those gradients. And there's a big ridge, you can't see it, way off in the Pacific Ocean, big dome of high pressure. We're going to be at the very edge of that, which is why we're still going to be a little breezy on Tuesday. And then starting on Wednesday and going, looks like right through Memorial Day weekend, we're looking good. For Tuesday, 73, again, a little bit of wind left over. And then we get to Wednesday. Here we go again, 79, about 5 degrees above normal on Wednesday with very little wind. And then by Wednesday night, just a couple of clouds are going to be showing up. Just a quick little trough comes in, comes out. You'll be sleeping when that happens. You'll wake up to a few clouds on Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, nothing but sunshine, mid-80s. As you can see, just a couple of clouds Thursday night into Friday. Again, in, out, not hanging around. Then we really get going. 86 our forecast high on Friday. And if you like your Memorial Days, sunny and warm with a nice light breeze and not too hot, this is a forecast you're going to like. And it looks like this high pressure ridge, which is, again, just off the Pacific coast, is so big, and it's not really moving anywhere, but it's big enough that it does capture most of the Pacific Northwest, and that includes the Wenatchee Valley. So we're looking really good temperature-wise, and very little wind as well. It's going to be just a beautiful, beautiful 3-day weekend to be outside and enjoying. Lots of sunshine, not too hot. We like that. Don't really know about Memorial Day yet, but right now, the long-term forecast looks just like you see pretty much here. Again, a little breezy for the rest of the day today. Also windy overnight tonight with an overnight low of 47. A bit on the windy side on Tuesday. It will diminish as the day progresses. We'll be done with the wind by the time we get to Wednesday with a high near 80. And then to the 80s we go. Mid-80s on Thursday, mid-80s on Friday, mid-80s on Saturday, mid-80s on Sunday. Couple of clouds here and there. That's about it. And for Memorial Day, probably sunshine in the mid-80s. And that's your forecast. Still to come, sports and a whole bunch more. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
The Mariners wrapped up a 9-game road trip with a tough 3-2 loss to Atlanta on Sunday. The Mariners only able to scratch across 3 hits in the game off of brave pitchers, but 2 of which left the yard. Not enough, though. Atlanta took 2 of 3 from the Mariners in the weekend series.
The Braves off to such an amazing start in these first innings of ball games, and now Olsen down the line. It's fair. Ronald on his horse. He's coming home. 2 batters in, the Braves lead.
Here's Jared Kelnick, and he sends one deep to right. Giddy up, ball, giddy up. Gone, a home run for J.K., and we get a tie ball game.
Yes, sir.
Here at 1-1 for Jared, his 9th home run, RBI number 22.
And he reaches for it, singles into center, and the Braves have the lead back. Olsen scores, it's 2-1. Darno to left center. That ball is back, it's at the track, it's at the wall, and it's gone.
On a first pitch heater homer. And Travis, you can tell, was thinking the same thing. Look where that pitch is, though, Brandon. Down in the zone where he could get extension.
Cabby, left field, deep, carry, giddy up and gone! Jose Caballero, his first big league home run. It's a 3-2 Atlanta lead here in the 8th. Hey now for Jose.
He struck him out. Top shelf. Ball game over. Series over. Braves win.
Seattle returns home tonight to face the Oakland A's in the first of a 3-game set. 6:40 game time on Root Sports Northwest. Well, the A's come to town after being swept by Houston, including Sunday's 2-0 decision by Framber Valdez. He pitched a complete game, 4-hit shutout, struck out 7 in the process. Corey Seager had 3 hits, including a 2-run homer, while Marcus Semien drove in 3 runs as Texas put up crooked numbers in a 13-3 win over Colorado. Shohei Ohtani didn't get the win, but he did strike out 9 over 6 innings. The Angels bullpen did the rest. LA beat Minnesota by a final of 4-2. The Mariners find themselves 7 games back of first place Texas in the standings at the 46 game mark of the season. It was a rough weekend for all but one area baseball team, while things went much better on the softball diamonds. As we look at our prep recap, Moses Lake lost a 1-run heartbreaker in the first round of the WIAA State 4A baseball tournament, falling to Olympia Saturday 5-4. Tahoma topped Ole 5-4 to advance to the Final Four. West Valley also lost its opener by a score of 2-1. Their season is done. Cashmere fell to Cedar Park Christian-Bothell Saturday in Camas by a score of 9-1. La Center topped Lynden Christian 9-7, but then fell to Cedar Park Christian in the quarterfinal 6-5. Chelan bounced from its side of the State 1A tournament with a 5-1 loss to Clahoya. Clahoya went on to beat Deer Park 12-3 to reach the Final Four. Tonasket lost a 2-1 heartbreaker in the opening round of the State 2B tournament Saturday in Yakima. Tri-Cities Prep topped the Panthers 2-0 to advance to the Final Four. Northwest Christian topped Ilwaco in Brewster Saturday 2-0 in the first round of the State 2B tournament. The Bears held off Northwest Christian in the quarterfinals 8-2 and advanced to the Final Four. Well, that means a trip to Ephrata Friday for Brewsters. They'll face Tri-Cities Prep in a semifinal at 7 o'clock. Win or lose, they'll play again Saturday either at 1 or for a third or fourth, or 7 o'clock in the evening for the championship. Well, Eastmont won its second consecutive district championship Saturday with a 5-3 win over Moses Lake. Wenatchee's season ended in a 17-0 defeat to West Valley. Mavericks advanced to state with a 9-8 win over the Rams. Columbia Playfields in Richland decide for the WIAA State 4A softball tournament this Friday and Saturday. Eastmont plays Puyallup to open at 11 o'clock Friday morning. Moses Lake faces Richland. Win or lose, both Wildcats and Mavericks play again Friday at 3 p.m. Cashmere claimed the lone bid to the State 1A softball tournament by winning the District 6 championship Saturday. Bulldogs topped Cascade 16-1 in the opener. Quincy edged Omak 9-7 to advance to the title game, where they lost to Cashmere 14-3. Cashmere will also play at Columbia Playfield in Richland, but their first round game is Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock against Natchez Valley. If they win, they'll face Montesano Friday at 1 o'clock. Brewster joined Okanagan in the State 2B softball tournament after winning the consolation game of the District 6 tournament Friday over Oroville 12-3, the final score. Bears will play Forks in an opening round game of the WIAA State 2B tournament at the Gateway Sports Complex in Yakima Friday. If they win, they'll take on Warden at 2 o'clock in the quarterfinals. Okanagan will await the winner between Kittitas and PL in the quarterfinals Friday at 2 p.m. Now, Myra Cooley Heartline survived an arduous journey through the District 6-7-9 tournament to Franklin Park over the weekend in Spokane. After falling to Sunnyside Christian Friday, the Warriors bounced back for a 10-4 win over Republic. ACH then fell to DeSales 10-9, so it was down to a final chance at state against Mary Walker. Warriors pulled out the 6-4 win. ACH will have another shot at the Irish coming up on Friday in the first round of the State 1B tournament at noon at the Gateway Sports Complex in Yakima. Win or lose, Warriors will play either Darrington or Liberty Christian at 4 o'clock. There will be no team from our region in the Final Four of the state soccer tournament. Cascade came close. Kodiaks beat Kingsway Christian Friday 4-0 and faced Highland Saturday after the Scotties knocked out Tonasket 4-0. Highland beat Cascade in the quarterfinals 2-1. Quincy also had its season come to an end Saturday, falling to Connell by a final of 3-2. Storm clouds loomed on the horizon as race fans gathered at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval on Saturday night. The heavens didn't open up, but a storm of controversy swirled around the quarter-mile asphalt track as the night drew to a close. With only a few laps remaining in the 50-lap main event for the Rockstar Energy B-Mods, John Woodring's car lost control and crashed into the wall at the start-finish line. Now, race officials determined Donovan Stevens was to blame and black flagged him, taking him from third to last. Greg Rentz joined me on the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Oh, geez, look out. Ooh, Woodring in the wall.
Into the wall. Let's make sure everybody gets past him cleanly. Holiday goes down.
And they will.
Need all the race fans, please back away from the fence. Please back away from the fence.
Woodring
climbing out of the car.
I didn't see what happened there. I didn't see anybody contact him from behind. He just lost control and came into the wall here.
Donovan Stevens, the black flag. Not sure what's going on.
So they're trying to send Donovan back to the back of the pack here.
Not sure why.
With 6 laps to go. Now, of course, John Woodring crashed into the wall, but he was not near the front of the pack when that happened. So that was the only thing I could think of is if there was an issue with Donovan Stevens.
They're going to stop the field here.
And Donovan
is going to pull right up and say, what
is going on?
What in the world? Just got word from the tower. Donovan Stevens is being sent to the back for contact with the 4 of John Woodring at the time of the caution. Glenn again to the inside. Almost able to make it stick this time. White flag, 1 lap to go. Colby Holiday, big slide. He's around in front of the field.
Great job, everybody avoiding him.
But the caution lights are on.
They're going to go ahead and checker flag it.
Checker flag is out. And Garrett Evans will win. Garrett Evans has won this Rockstar Energy B-Mod main event. Why were you taking the high side is what people were wondering. The high side typically not where you want to be in the modified. You were making it work. What was it about the high side tonight that was working so well for you guys?
Well, it seemed to kind of fit where my stagger was, and we run spools in these things. It seemed like I could get a good run off the corner. I could drive it in without worrying about pushing up, and I tried the bottom, and it seemed like the outside was better for me.
The official final has Garrett Evans taking first in the Rockstar Energy B-Mods. Glenn Knudsen was second, followed by Trucker Moore third. Wyatt Flowers from Palmer, Alaska claimed his 3rd straight win in the Angel Bail Bonds Bandoleros on Saturday. Caden Steinberg was second, followed by Dakota Ballard. Caleb Gill fought off the pack to win the Zero Handicap Youth Roadrunner main event, getting past Marysville's Preston Brandt and Wenatchee's Tommy Craig. Brad Arneson borrowed his daughter's car to win the Plum Perfect Roadrunner main event. Second was East Wenatchee's Kyle Spalding. At third went to Soap Lake's Eddie Razy. Racing returns in a couple of Saturdays at WVSO on June 3rd with the Wenatchee $200 and $20,000 up for grabs. That's a look at sports news. Have a happy Monday.
On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, it's time to talk Apple Sox baseball, just a couple of weeks away from opening night. Stormin' Joel Norman, my guest. What's on the agenda?
Boy, we're getting so close to the start of the Apple Sox baseball season. We'll talk about some of the new players joining the team, as well as all the fun things to look forward to this summer.
And newsflash, these guys are going to be good. Trust me on that. Joel Norman on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or on our website, NCWLIFE.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call, 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.